Hello students. This is your design problem and in one of the modules, and what I want to do in this short video is explain how you can manipulate these squares, and this is something you may already know. It's pretty basic, a word technique, but also you already use this on your phone when you edit any images. And I also want to show you how I inserted these squares, in case you don't know. I'm just at work using my PC, so this is Windows, and you're going to get a document, one that will say symmetrical balance and the other will say asymmetrical, and then you will create an original design using these squares, and I'll show you how to add some. In this module I put a really short, like 4 or 5 page PowerPoint reminding you about some things, some pointers, but this is pretty easy to do. Then of course you'll save it and upload it, and these 2 designs will count as an exam grade. So usually during a summer session I will have the students you need to apply what you're learning, and so usually I'll have to give them black paper and white paper, and then they'll take it home, cut and paste, and bring them back. But you're going to do it on the computer using technology. Now, there's 2 ways to think about your design, how to create a design. The first thing you do not want to do is go to the internet. I put that in my syllabus. You do not want to go to the internet. You want to sketch something out. There's 2 ways of designing. You can just sketch it out the top of your head, but I prefer the second way, which I'm going to demo, which is you just play. Because play is being open-minded and you're exploring ways to move things around that you wouldn't think about. And you can cut and paste and change things, so it's really quick. So I would say just play. And you'll be really surprised at what you come up with. You're going to keep a couple of things in mind. Which design principles are you using, and or you combining them, like proportion, changing the size of things, emphasis. You're going to use repetition. Variety is always good. Variety of sizes, so you can think about that as well. And if you look at my cursor, I hope it's moving, this negative space between the negative space is equally important in your design to the positive. Now, first thing you want to do is, let me just show you. I put my cursor, I'm using a mouse, left click it, and there you can see all these dots around it. And then if I take the corner, I can make it larger. Take the corner, go diagonal, and all sides equidistant change. If I want to move it, right click, left. You're always using your left. Left click, I'm dragging it down, go over here to the side, use this one, and then I can stretch it. Okay? Now, you can do that. Make it small, using the corner, it should be equidistant if you're careful. Sides, make it longer or shorter. All right, now then we click back on it, left click, take this, now you have very interesting shape, a lot more interesting than this very restrained kind of, this restrained rectangle or a square. So that, and of course to delete, you just click on it and then hit the delete button, or you can right click it and then cut. You can do that. Now, let's say you want to add some squares like I did. So this is how you do that. So here I've got in this image here on this video, which is called Screen-o-Matic. And I'm actually sort of excited because I wanted to find a free software where I can show my desktop this document and talk to you at the same time. So I discovered that today, and it's free. It's called Screen-o-Matic. I asked my IT tech here in the building. He wasn't sure. And then I I emailed faculty development offices, and they said try Screen-o-Matic. So that's what I'm using. Now, this is how I created a document in Word. I came over to here, insert, click, left click, insert, go to shapes. Hit left click, shapes, drop down, and there's my square. Didn't show up. So I have to come back to my document, and you see my X, my cursor, left click, and there it is. But I want to change it to black. Go to the color palette. There you go. That's how you do it. Because this design problem has restrictions. Black and white, interesting use of negative positive, figure ground, as well as it is going to be, one is a symmetrical and one is asymmetrical design. So that's how you can load your document if you want to create split squares. So this is how you freestyle. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just playing. I'm going to make this big. All right, I like that. Now, if I move this one, visually, perceptually, large is visually heavier than small shapes, large shape, small shape. Okay? That's pretty obvious, but we need to articulate it. So if I had a bunch of these, that actually creates texture if I keep repeating these. So I have this. Okay, now it's going to be I'm going to put this back. It's going to be symmetrical. So let me make this a little smaller. Make that like that. I'm going to take this one, and I want to be the same size. Again, I'm just freestyling, literally having fun doing this assignment. Okay, there you go. Now I got a space. You know, that space, that negative space shape, that's important. Let me show you something else before I move on this, because you can also use implied shapes. So if I do this, this. By the way, Screen-o-Matic, I only have 15 minutes to finish this, so I gotta be brief. There you go. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the details, like my corners touching. You want to do that. So look, now I have an implicit shape created by the edges of these positive. It looks like in this design, black is positive and white is negative. So let me move these back. And I know for a symmetrical design that if I draw, well, let me do this. Get this out of the way. Okay. So if I have just this, well, first of all, it's not a good design. It's not symmetrical, and it's not balanced. Okay? So I know symmetrical is when you draw a line in the middle, either horizontally or vertically, and let me move this over because my picture, my video might be in the way. They are the same. So right now, if this space is the same as this space, got to look closely, this actually is symmetrical. If I draw, depending, if I draw a vertical line in the center, right through here, these are the same size, this is repeated, that is symmetrical. If I draw a horizontal in the center, it is not symmetrical because I would need this, the same spacing. Okay? Yeah. So, you know, that's not very interesting. But look at the negative space shape. It's actually sort of like an H, which is sort of cool. I could be designing a logo. Anyway, look at that. Okay? All right, forget it. That's not what I want to do. I want to show you that I'm going to do this. I think this is a lot more dynamic when I have this than these. Everything, you know, the square is what? It is restrained, it is stable, or something on the side here, on its side like that, you know, that creates a little more interest, a little more tension, the tension where these sides are touching. Now, Do you want it to touch or just touch? You know, that negative space shape. I want it to touch. There you go. So that is, this way is symmetrical, but that could be a little more interest. You want to spend a little more time than I am. I'm just banging this out to show you how to do this. And I'm going to overlap it a little. Make sure that angle is the right. Remember, you got to turn it. Overlap a little. Okay. This one needs to go up. This needs to be a little more square-ish, I think. But I may not get it perfect because I'm hurrying, but that's still, that I think is symmetrical. Yeah, that is. So now this one, I'm going to just say, now already, if I do this, you see, now I've got, well, first of all, I do have variety in this size to these sizes. I do have repetition of these two and this two. I do have proportion. These are principal design. This is large. These are small. But, you know, I want to just do something a little more interesting just for the fun of it in this real quick demo. Maybe I'll do this just for the fun of it. Now, it's still symmetrical. Now, this negative space shape, you know, how interesting is it? Like, let me stretch this a little bit. Like, and I'm not sure I like this. It's okay. You know, I could leave it there. I can move this up. You just keep moving things around. And next thing you know, you'll be changing your major. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. Look, I'm not saying this is the best design. I'm going to pull this down. If I can pull the edge down, let me see. Yeah, flatten that out a little bit. But I'm just showing you, I'm just demoing this. But I could do this for a long time play, so I'm just going to leave it there. All right, now, so now you know how to asymmetrical, a lot more fun. And, you know, you need to spend some time on this because you know, this is a grade. And so, an exam grade. And so then you will just save it and you will upload it into assignments. And I look forward to seeing your 2 designs. And we'll talk about it on discussion. The discussion board. Now let me see if I can close this.